Okay, this is part 5. The document has been amended. I was working, excuse me. I was working yesterday with a document that was older, but I've since amended it. The amended version is online in the link below the first video that I posted. So I'm going to continue, and these events continue from January 2014 until July 30th, 2014, and they're pretty rich events and worth sharing. So let's continue. I'll kind of re-abridge the previous entry, the last entry, amended to include a little further information. So January 17th, 2014, I meet with Trinity Journal Editor-in-Chief Wayne Agner to present the aforementioned evidence that I believe the community has a compelling interest to know. While meeting with him, I get a call from Savannah's therapist, Deborah Scheid, to whom Robin had been bringing since the RO, since the restraining order, in order to get dirt on Dad, to harvest disclosures of sexual abuse or whatever she can get. Ms. Scheid is apologetic about not having been successful in trying to reach me up until now, and we speak for 30 minutes. She tells me that she is going to write another report to the court, telling the court that Savannah reports only positively about her father, that the 90-minute phone calls are not too long, and that she loves and misses her dad. I would routinely have 90-minute phone calls with Savannah when I could call her. I believe it was Mondays and Wednesdays that I could call her. And we read stories. I read stories to her. Horton hatches the egg. It was a big one. But Robin tried to cut that short. She said 90 minutes too long. She went to the court about it. Let's continue. January 29, 2014, Savannah and Jackson both come to visit at my house with Scott LaFine. From here on, Jackson will attend every visit. January 31st, 2014, we have a hearing with Judge Murray. Petitioner asks for sanctions for my failure to serve disclosures on time regarding the divorce. I am sanctioned for $5,000 and prevented from presenting any evidence at trial that should have been presented in disclosures. It's an evidentiary sanction that Robin requested. She didn't want me to disclose that anyway. I later learned that this means that the separate property contributions totaling at least $60,000 on the 88-acre parcel from my father's estate will not be considered as such by Judge Murray at trial. Judge Murray sympathetically appeals to me. He says, "Mr. McStay, you really need an attorney." No, I needed an honorable judge. February 12, 2014, Ken Machold, investigator for County Council, Trinity County Council, calls me to arrange an interview with me regarding what I had shared with County Council David Prentice and County CAO Wendy Tyler. He arranges to come next week from Sacramento. February 13th, 2014, I meet with Dr. Marilyn Woolley for our first of 4 meetings to undergo psychological evaluation. February 17, I sign a contract to lease the 80-acre property, and I'm given a first installment of funds. I'm in extreme poverty until this. Now I can afford psych evals. February 19th, 2014, County Council's investigator Ken Machold meets with me for more than 2 hours. He and I both tape the interview. I still have those tapes, of course. He is interested in evidence that indicates Robin abused her office. We discuss her flagrant play on the county's LexisNexis database while we were still married. The facts discussed herein, and he is mostly interested in the facts sent on July 19th to Weaverville bail bonds, urging against bail should I be arrested. This is dated July 17 and sent from Robin's DCSS fax machine at least an hour before Weaverville bail bonds was even called. Ken has me sign, and we have this notarized, a limited waiver of attorney-client privilege, so that he may speak with Cynthia Angel the next day. He told me later that I said, "What'd you get from Cynthia?" He said she was an attorney, didn't answer questions. February 20, 2014, I meet with Dr. Woolley a second time in Reading. I retain Howard Churchill with the Reading law firm Berg and Associates. February 27, I meet with Dr. Woolley a third time, this time for 2 hours with both children. March 6th, I meet with Dr. Woolley a fourth and final time for my psych eval. March 19, hearing with Judge Murray. Robin has petitioned the court to sell the 80-acre property based on an offer received February 20 for $150,000, 3 days after I signed a lease agreement and received funds. The property was listed at $190,000, and Howard Churchill argues that it is unreasonable to drop to such a low bid given that the market has not been tested at $180,000, which was recommended by realtor Don Coffin. The court grants the request, but provides me with 5 days in which to make a reasonable counteroffer. Thanks. March 24th, I have received bona fide assurance from moneylender Wayne Burdett that he is willing to lend me $75,000 to buy out Robin's interest in the 80-acre property. I submit this offer through Don, who drafts a formal offer in writing. Robin rejects the offer. The court has not provided me with any mechanism by which I may keep the property I have invested years of separate property contributions into. April 9, the agreement to sell the 80 acres is signed by the court. I refuse to sign it. April 28th, Dr. Woolley's psych eval report is complete and delivered to Howard Churchill. April 30, escrow closes on the 80 acres. The proceeds from the sale are held in trust account in Robin's attorney's name, James Graff. May 1st, we are scheduled for 2 days of evidentiary hearing. Opposing counsel asks the court for a continuation based on the fact that the psych eval reports were only just now submitted and were due by statute 10 days prior to trial. Minors counsel Cindy Campbell offers that this is not in the best interest of the children, and she advocates restored custody immediately. Judge Murray concurs and orders both parties to agree on an interim order which reestablishes custody of the children to their father before he will grant a continuation. We agree to return to... Hold on. Did I skip over stuff? No, I didn't. Wait. Nope, we're good. Opposing counsel, both parties are agreed on an interim order which reestablishes custody of the children to their father before he will grant a continuation. We agree to return to the status quo of the children that the children had known for years, that I would continue to have them 8 to 5 every weekday and every other weekend. Robin has scheduled a vacation with them ahead of time, so this new order will take effect beginning the weekend of May 16. May 15. Dave Cox, now retired investigator for the Trinity District Attorney's Office, informs me. He pulled me over in Mama Llama's coffee house. He said, "Listen, I need to talk to you." He says, he informs me that in 2011, when my tenant on the 80-acre property was arrested, that a contract was found on the scene in the cabin. The found contract was signed by myself, Tomatea Groves, and Robin McStay. Dave tells me that he phoned Robin a little while after and asked her if she had a copy of the contract. Robin then presented Dave with a contract signed only by myself and tenant Groves. Dave calls this presenting a falsified document during an official investigation. It is also obstruction of justice on its face. Both are felonies. I asked Dave why she wasn't prosecuted, and he shrugs and says that it wasn't our case. Wasn't who we were aiming for. He tells me that everyone in our office knew, meaning the District Attorney Mike Harper, Deputy DA Eric Hereford, and Deputy DA Matt Hudson, all knew, and they did nothing about it. We're going to let this one go. May 31st, Sherry Chizulu and Ray Shar, my mother's brother and his wife, whose house I'd been staying in for the last 10 months, in a separate one-bedroom basement apartment, present me with an ultimatum. They ask me to sign a document that says I may stay as long as I like, paying $500 monthly in rent, but I'm not permitted to bring the children onto the premises. They are aware that I am videotaping our conversation. I refuse. Sherry then threatens, I'm going to go to Robin. June 3rd, 2014, I get a call from Trinity County Sheriff's Deputy Hess, who tells me that Sherry has made a complaint that I threatened harm to her dogs. June 4th, I come home from farmer's market to find that I am locked out of all gates. I call the sheriff's office for a civil standby. Deputy Hess and Deputy Whitman arrive, and Ray and Sherry and I meet them at the gate. Ray is extremely aggressive and hostile and tells both deputies that he's going to kill me. He claims to be a witch and that he will do it in a way that no one can catch him. Deputy Hess tells Ray that he will be hauled off to jail if he does not calm down. Deputies inform Sherry that she must unlock the gate, and she does so. June 5th. Sherry and Ray present me at Starbucks with a 30-day notice. Ray again tells me, in front of witnesses, that he's going to kill me. June 6th. Robin violates the court order by not bringing the kids to my house at 8 a.m. Emails and text exchanges in the evening before make it clear that she knew she was not within her rights to take them to Modesto that day, but she does so anyway. June 9th. Savannah reports to me that Robin was in a car accident on Friday, June 6th, driving to Modesto. She reports that Robin rear-ended someone in front of her and that she was texting while driving. June 10. I take Savannah to Trinity County Sheriff to report the accident. Sergeant Will Oliver takes Savannah's statement and says he will speak to Robin about it. He calls me back later to report that the DA will not prosecute as the accident happened in Modesto. June 11th. Savannah reports that her mother was very angry and that she told the sheriff about the accident and called Savannah a liar. Robin admits in email that there was an accident, but does not confirm that she was texting. And Savannah mimicked to me. I was like, well, how was it? What happened? She was like, her mom was using her knees for the steering wheel and texting with her. She showed it to me what Robin was doing. June 11th, I am in Reading with Jackson at Attorney Berg and Associates. Savannah is with a friend in Weaverville. I text Robin at 4:10 to say that I will be late dropping off the kids. I tell her 7 p.m. At 6:15, I get a call from a sheriff's deputy. Robin is heard in the background, hysterical and furious. I tell him, the deputy, that I'm running late, that Robin has already been informed. She demands to know where Savannah is. Deputy tells her to calm down, that I'm running late from Reading, and that I will bring the kids back when I return. He tells me he is very aware of my custody case and offers his courteous sympathy. And in fact, I did not want to tell Robin where Savannah was because that's my friend, and I want to protect my friend from Robin's viciousness. I did a lot of that. June 19. I received records from Trinity County CPS that detail Robin's many reports of abuse over several years, all unfounded or inconclusive. In these records are emails between Robin and Sherry Osborne, where Robin is clearly noted pressuring Sherry to make reports to CPS and to get a restraining order against me. Robin brags to Sherry that she got her restraining order from Judge Johnson, quote, in 20 minutes, unquote. June 23rd, Minors Counsel Cindy Campbell meets with Savannah alone at Mama Llama. Savannah reports later that she told Cindy about the car accident and that Robin called her a liar. June 25, first of 2 full days of hearing before Judge Murray. I have hired a court reporter, so everything is on record. Cindy Campbell attends, so issues are regarding custody only. Robin has not finished presenting her case, so we are continued until July 30th. June 26th, second of 2 full days of testimony. Cindy Campbell cannot attend, so issues are regarding property. Dave Cox testified that Robin presented him in August 2011 with a contract without her signature. He is presented with an original signed contract and has her signature, and tells the court that this is the same document she presented him, only without her signature. This is, again, on its face, felony. June 27, hearing with Judge Murray regarding Sherry Chizulo's unlawful detainer. Right, she sued me. She went and got Robin, and Robin got Michael Jarvis, Dick, to represent her for free. She's represented by Michael Jarvis. Sherry states under oath that I made threats of bodily harm to her and her dogs. This story changed. And on May 29th. I asked, as pro per, why she was willing to let me stay as long as I like, paying $500 rent on May 31st, when she was so frightened of alleged threats on May 29th. She fumbles, 10 seconds of silence, and then a non-answer. I thought I had to, she said. She also claims that she went to Robin's house, as she threatened to do so on videotape, and which Savannah had already reported to me that she did, only to apologize to Savannah for yelling at her. Judge Murray rules that this was an at-will tenancy, and I am evicted this day. First and only eviction in my life. June 27, 28, and 29. I moved my belongings into storage with kids helping, and we stay at a friend's home 3 nights. I had no home. I had kids with me. I had friends, however. So, June 30th, finally, after 3 days of being homeless, I rent a 1-bedroom cottage in town with Dana Ryan, and the kids and I are secure. July 1. Savannah reports that Robin told her to go to her room. It was on a phone call. And when Savannah refused, Robin dragged her. She demonstrates her whole body on the floor, across the room by her arms to her room. Savannah reports that her arm hurt really badly afterwards. We did have a phone conversation about that. I recorded it, but this was apparently a different time because she demonstrated it to me. July 4th, Robin violates the court order by failing to bring the kids to my house that morning. She takes the kids to Modesto for the weekend, 1 day early. No provision in the court order allows for it. She wanted July 4th at home with her family. Even though the court order didn't allow for it, she wants what she wants, and she always gets it. July 8th, I file a civil suit against Cynthia Angel, citing malpractice as well as other causes of action. July 9. Scott LaFine calls to set up an appointment to see kids as provided in court order. He tells me that Robin gave him a videotape of Jackson in some distress, apparently caused by me. Scott was not concerned. I take both kids, one at a time, to meet with Scott individually. Jackson meets first, and Savannah second. Savannah reports that she told Scott that her mother dragged her, and that Scott asked if her mother gets angry a lot. Savannah reports that she told Scott she does. July 17th, we're coming to an end here. July 17th, Robin texts at 8:10 in the morning that she will be late dropping off the kids. She says she has car trouble. Savannah arrives and tells me that Robin's car was stolen. She says that Robin was worried it might have been taken by one of Chado's friends, a girl with blue hair and her boyfriend, who came to visit the house the day before. Chado is a man who has been living in Robin's house in the attic with pull-down stairs, not legally permitted as a bedroom, for the last several months. July 22, 2014, Cynthia is served with my summons and complaint. July 30th, last day of hearing with Judge Murray. Cynthia Angel is called as a witness for Robin, but Judge Murray declines to hear her testimony. Cynthia had sent me an email 2 weeks prior threatening to abolish attorney-client privilege in my family law matter due to the civil suit against her, unless I dropped the civil suit, quote, with prejudice. The fuck I care about attorney-client privilege, bitch. You tell me tell the court everything you know. Everything. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm transparent. Look, there's nothing for me to hide in attorney-client privilege. Sorry I said bitch. It's not characteristic of me. I retain the email. Robin openly denies making any of the statements as offered verbatim from our March 16th, 2000 videotape conversation. She's blatantly aggressive on the stand, and at one point, minors counsel Cindy Campbell reflects that Robin bores holes into Mr. McStay when he is testifying, and asks Robin what will it take for her to relax her hostility against him. Judge Murray takes all matters into submission and promises a ruling in writing in a few weeks. And this was regarding, I believe, this, no, it's different. I forget what that hearing was regarding specifically, custody issues, right? So that's it. I mean, that's it up until July 30th, 2014. It's never it. This will be ongoing through 2015, through 2016, when she left to bring the kids to Modesto. She moved. She hightailed it out of Trinity County after all this. She knew she had no future. There's a lot more that has gone on. I mean, tons of stuff in July 15, in 2015, 2016. Ultimately, she left for Modesto, and that more or less ended the case to be heard in Trinity courts up until I filed motions to try to get the case moved to Alameda County, because Robin works in the Stanislaus County court system. Ultimately, I was not successful in the court. The case is now in Stanislaus County, and at this point, everything gets a redo. So we're all the way back to allegations of abuse, that I provided alcohol to my son, that I promote drug use, an incident with Savannah that's on videotape. None of which really constitute abuse per se, but again, another foot in the door of the court, and I'm slated for hearing July 12th in Stanislaus County. I have to consider getting an attorney. Can't afford one, but we are now in therapy with Trent Tilby, and I've only attended one session on, I forget what day it was, but it's now May 18th, May 17 right now, today. And so I did one session with Trent Tilby, Robin and I together. It was a miracle getting her in the room. But he has subsequently seen both kids together, and today, 2 hours ago, he had a session with Savannah solo. So I'm looking forward to further scheduling with Trent. I believe that this is the only path to resolving these issues, is through therapy, because they're deeply seated emotional issues, trauma and narcissism from Robin. This has been victimizer for more than a decade. These are not two people that don't get along or don't see eye to eye. This is constant abuse, constant victimization, constant terrorism. And it has now harmed all of the members of my family. Jackson's pretty cool. He's unscathed. He's a bright, happy, loving person who is now really excited about understanding logical fallacies. Right? He can identify the ad hominem. He can identify the straw man, the red herring, right? The slippery slope. I love him for that. We talk about validating feelings of your friends. We do reflective listening together. He has fine charisma, fine relationships with his friends. Savannah, I'm more worried about. She's taking more after mother, defensiveness, arguing, inability to trust, and I'm worried about her. So this tape is part of a comprehensive aim to tell the truth, show the truth, say what the truth is, so that my children can be raised well, so that they can have happy lives. Because the thing with Robin, you can see it never ends, and it never will, ever. Not ever. I've relied on court orders. I've relied on fair judges, not all of which I've gotten. And I've mostly relied on mental health care professionals like Scott LaFine, Jill Chipman, and now Trent Hilby. So that's it for now. Again, there's no finish to this. There's just a progressive aiming toward and refining of better relationship skills. And that's it. So thanks for listening. There's probably going to be more, but this is it for now. Thank you for your patience and your attention and your care. Goodbye.